Philip Stoughton. I'm at Apex 2025 and I am joined by Lorena, who runs IPC in Mexico. Lorena, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Thank you for having me, Phil.
How's the show been so far? I think what I'm really excited about is that IPC has recognized the importance of Mexico at this show because there are always a big Mexican participation here, and they're giving you a whole space, a whole pavilion to do your own thing.
That is correct. For the 25 years that Apex has been running, there's been presence, as you say, on and off, of Mexican representation. But it is the first year that we have our own Mexico pavilion. So we're very, very excited.
Yeah, and it's a unique space at the show because it's not a bunch of vendors, it's not equipment. You have some government bodies there, you have much more of a kind of a holistic approach to the market.
Exactly. We learned a couple of years ago that if we wanted to have success in Mexico, we needed to partner with the three helixes of the industry. So we're partnering with the governments, the state governments, with the academia, the academic institutions, and of course with the companies. So we brought to this edition the government representatives from the government of Querétaro, which is a huge aerospace hub, and from the government of Guanajuato, which is also a very important automotive electronics hub in the center of Mexico. And we brought two of our partners to different shows, the Binational Electronics Show, who they have been a very strong ally of everything that IPC Mexico is doing, and of course the WireTech show. So we're partnering with them also in some of the shows, and we brought one of our strongest arms in Mexico, one of IPC's training centers, Automation HR. They've been our strategic partners for all the 3 years that IPC has been in Mexico, and they've been doing a great job with us, helping us spread the word and reaching all the places, all the little places in Mexico.
That's hugely valuable. And I think what's interesting is when you look at what you're doing on the booth, you're reflecting a lot of what IPC has to offer. You have training, training partners there, you have government partners there. What I think IPC's done a really good job of it in the last decade is morphing from this association that felt very USA-centric to something that's much more global, but is able to act locally. And that's really important. Tell me a bit about what you're doing that's perhaps unique in Mexico and the kind of services or the areas that you touch.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, IPC is a global electronic association. So having presence in Mexico was very important for the mission and the vision of the Global Electronics Association that IPC is. So what we're doing there is putting a face in the ground. So what we're doing is partnering at a personal level. Yeah. And that has been changing the game completely, because when we first went to Mexico, we started trying to go and meet with the members of IPC, and we learned soon enough that we needed to do a better job on positioning IPC, at least in Mexico. They were well known in the rest of the world and in the US, but we needed to do a more personal work in Mexico, and that's what we've been doing. I think that one of our strengths is that we are building community in Mexico.
Yeah, you've done a really good job of that, particularly in the last 12 months. There seems to have been a step change in the way people view IPC. It feels like a Mexican association, which is exactly what you want it to feel like on a local basis. But it just feels like it's involved in more stuff. We're seeing more from it. The communication online has been really on point. It's made a big difference. What do you put that down to? Is it just down to you, Lorena, or is there a whole team of people busying away?
It is a whole team. Of course, we needed to put a face to IPC Mexico, and I was lucky enough to be that face. But the support and the commitment of the entire IPC team, starting with John, then with David Hernandez, our VP of Education, and Carlos and Robert, who I think you've met. So the support and the commitment that the company has towards the development of workforce, towards the development of all of the regions, that is what's been the game changer. And what happens here is that they gave me the freedom to to go and expand our operations and do it the way that we Mexicans like to do it, right?
Absolutely.
At a personal level, we are huggers.
Yeah.
We like to establish those connections at a more personal level. So I think that's the secret of our success in Mexico.
Yeah, I lived in Mexico for 7 months, and I think the reason I enjoyed it is I actually moved from California. It felt so much more European than the US. It's curious, but yeah, I think it's that idea that you behave in the same way you would, and you don't try and take a model from another country and just put it there, because that cultural connection is hugely important and hugely valuable.
That's correct. We've been very good at making sure that the companies know and the industry knows that we are here to help them, to help them succeed. Not only our IPC members, which are very important for us, but also the rest of the industry. So that's what we do. We go to a city, we connect with their local governments, their academic institution, and we make sure that they know that we're here to support their success. And I think that's the key of what we're doing.
Yeah, that makes all the difference, doesn't it? One of the things I've also seen IPC do very successfully over recent years is these kind of leadership summits where they're getting people together in a very safe, comfortable environment to talk about the challenges they have. They had a very successful one here yesterday. I've chaired a couple for them in Europe. Is that something you're doing or you're planning to do in Mexico?
Yes, we've been having these small events. Of course, we would love to have something at DISCA, but what we're doing right now is to host small events in different cities to create this networking, to bring the industry together, to talk about what we're doing, to talk about education, to bring all the resources and have them chat, as you said, in a friendly, fun, open
safe
environment. Exactly, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it makes all the difference, doesn't it? Well, Lorena, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an awesome job. I'm very much enjoying your social media feed as well.
Thank you so much.
Good to see what's going on there, and we'll chat again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.